I've heard him called the financial industry's biggest rising star. Today on The Real Video Finfluencers, we have Mando Sallavanti, a financial planner with MassMutual. Wait. Before we dive into the conversation with today's guest, welcome to The Real Finfluencers, a podcast born from our original video series spotlighting financial professionals who are using video to grow their business and their influence. Here's something you should know. Most of these guests aren't Idea Decanter clients. They've built their digital presence from the ground up, and they're here to share exactly how they did it. I'm your host, Laura Garfield, co-founder of Idea Decanter, and my goal is simple: help you discover strategies you can actually use, steal what works, get inspired, and find your own unique brand of finfluence. Now let's get into it. Mando, thanks so much for taking a few minutes with us.
Yeah, Laura, I appreciate you having me.
So 27,000 followers on LinkedIn. I mean, in financial services, you are kind of the Taylor Swift or the Patrick Mahomes of financial advisors on LinkedIn. Tell me about how you built that kind of following.
First off, I got to say that might be the best nickname anyone's ever given me, the Patrick Mahomes of the financial world. Anyways, though, what I tell everybody is it's not about how do I go viral and get this mass following? How do I accumulate all of these people that just show up and they're on my profile? It starts one relationship at a time. This is the advice that people don't want to hear because that seems much more intimidating. Well, okay, 27,000 people, one relationship at a time. I don't even think how could I talk to 27,000 people? If I look back, Laura, when I first started 2 years ago, started making content, I told myself, I'm going to commit to doing this every single day, one time a day, and I'm going to go interact with people on the platform every single day for an hour, a couple hours a day. And I blocked it in my calendar. I stuck to it. The first year ends, I'm getting more traction. The second year ends, I'm getting more traction. And eventually, this thing has been growing my business out that it just makes sense from a financial perspective as a business decision to spend more time on LinkedIn to continue to build more relationships. And next thing you know, you look up and it's 27,000 people.
So end goal in the beginning was not to build a giant fan club for Mando. It was to grow the business. And now that you're 2.5 years in, have you seen results?
When I started, the goal was, hey, if I could post on this platform every day, would it be crazy to get an extra client every month? Probably not. It's probably more likely that I would get an extra client every month just by accident. So that was my mindset at first. And my first year doing it, I got 7 clients from the platform. My second year doing it, I got 34 clients from the platform. Now, 2024 is my third full year doing it. Year to date, I've gotten 29 clients from the platform. And not just they're a client, sign them up. Our clients are paying up to $10,000 a year in a retainer fee to us for financial planning as a service. Most of them, I would say. Some are above, some are below, obviously. Anyway, that's year to date, and that's only going to continue to increase. So it's become an absolute beast. And that's just the clients. I mean, the leads are even more than that, probably 5 or 6x. So it's great because we can be really selective with who we work with. But the goal was never to just build this following. I was thinking, hey, the riches are in the niches. Let me get on LinkedIn. It's a great place to find clients to work with based on what I've read online and heard about. So let's just try to advance the business forward. And it's turned into what it has.
So no plans to slow your roll in the near future?
Not at all. If anything, I'm going to be doubling down because I just think LinkedIn, I still think it's underrated. I've been on it consistently for 2.5 years. Like I said, I still think it's underrated attention. And I think the organic reach is so high. You can go viral on LinkedIn and get in front of the ideal people that you want to do business with And think about the mindset people take to when they interact on a social platform. Like if I'm on Instagram or I'm on TikTok or I'm on YouTube or I'm on LinkedIn, I'm coming with a different mindset to all of these places. So when I'm on LinkedIn, I'm in business mode, and so are your potential clients. So I found it a much easier transition, say, than some of these other platforms.
I'm sharing my screen with some of the videos you post to LinkedIn. And is your strategy on LinkedIn entirely video, or do you have a content mix?
I have a mix, but one thing that I do is pay attention to what jumps off the page. And what I mean by that is like, so that video right there that had 400 and some likes, that video got almost 700,000 views. I got 4 leads just from that video. The one after it that has 221 likes in the column above, that one got almost 200,000 views. I got another 4 leads from that. So this was within a 3-day time span, if I remember correctly. So when that happened a couple of weeks ago, I said, all right, LinkedIn's clearly pushing video right now, and it's converting to clients coming to my inbox. I'm going to double down on this for a few weeks and just see where it takes me, because I've found that this is working. There's also been periods where I might not post a video for 2 weeks just because something else might jump off the page and really be working at that time. So I'm just always a student of the game, if you will, and going with what works.
Well, something for everyone out there to note is that Mondo's not just posting the video, he's also posting kind of what I call a long form copy content with it. Is this pretty much your video message repurposed?
Pretty much, but it won't be identical. So if you actually like transcribed the video and looked at the caption, they are slightly different, but they get the same point across. The reason I do that, I want it to be really easy to interact with me, even though my videos do have captions on screen, so you could watch it and go through it even if you can't listen to it at the moment. But I want to make the path of least resistance to engage with my content as easy as possible. And that's why I do that with the video. And I've tested it. Like I've done the 1 or 2 line caption with a video, and I could tell you I have more than enough data to see that on LinkedIn, platform specific, this does tend to outperform just having a line or 2 with a video.
Well, one algorithm hack I know to be true is that every time you get someone to click on the show more up in the caption, the algorithm bumps you up a notch and shows your post to more people. So if anyone out there is writing really short format content, posting with your video, try what Mondo's doing here and putting more copy up here, because if you can get people to open up that show more button, then you get more views and more reach with each content piece you post. Mando, one thing I noticed is some of the content you post with titles like "Your financial plan sucks" or "Emotional decisions will wreck your finances" get a lot of traction. Have you seen a trend in sort of those controversial or headlines that will draw people in?
Absolutely. It comes back to really 4 things. So and before I talk about those 4, I'm just going to prelude with some context. Every piece of content that I put out has my ideal client in mind. And I mean, like, I am only writing to one person. I think a lot of times, at least I did when I started writing content, I got nervous that if I was so narrow, nobody would resonate with my content. But what I didn't realize was when I was going broad, nobody was resonating because everybody could resonate. So I started with, all right, here's my ideal client. They have fears, they have frustrations, they have wants and aspirations. I need to identify what those are. Then I need to be able to speak to those in my content. So when I say something like, your financial plan sucks, that's speaking to a fear or a frustration or a want or an aspiration in how I'm elaborating on that. But that first line, or a hook as people call it, that's the most important part of everything. Because if nobody goes past that, whatever you wrote does not matter. It just doesn't. The content after does matter, but not if they don't read it.
You know, we call it the prime real estate, those first 3 to 5 seconds of your video, or 3 to 5 seconds of the copy they're reading. And so many advisors will start out a video. Hi, I'm Laura Garfield. I'm co-founder of Idea Decanter. And you've completely blown the prime real estate. So it sounds like your key to that hook is identifying those problems, those pains, and speaking to them right up front.
Yes, and it's always in the you form. I coach some advisors and help them integrate some of these things into their practice. And the ones that get stuck and don't get to the point where they're actually generating the leads and getting traction in their content, it's because they continue to talk in most people, they, some people, many times. You need to be assumptive. And the only way you could be assumptive is to know your ideal client so good, know it so cold, that everything you say, there's 100% certainty behind it because you're talking to your ideal client. And if you just think of your number one client, if you're an advisor, talk to that person in all of your content because you know their situation and you know what their fears, frustrations, wants, aspirations are. And now when you do that, guess what? There's probably 1,000 other people that are the same exact or relatively similar situation to that person.
Yeah, I mean, video really is this one-on-one experience. It's you speaking to one person on the other end of the internet connection. And huge mistake so many people make trying to speak to everyone. I admire that you have stepped out and, embraced the idea of niche marketing because it just doesn't work when you try to speak to everyone. I asked Mando if he had to sum up in a sentence his secret to video marketing success. And he said, authenticity and storytelling. How do you bring your authentic self to your videos? How do you come up with the stories you're going to share? Give us some tips on that.
The authentic part comes from practice, I think, because when I first started making videos, I think a lot of advisors share this fear with me. I was nervous about what other people were going to think of me, what other advisors would say about me if I didn't come off as smart as I should be or didn't talk about the right thing in the right way. And over time, I just realized whether it's video content or written content, whichever format, I just need to speak authentically from my perspective and my mindset. And sometimes that means admitting I don't know everything or adding in an extra sentence that says like, hey, this is just what I've seen. Things like that. Because if you try to be someone you're not, it comes through, people see it, they understand that you're just putting together a polished video that isn't even you. So from the authenticity part, it just comes from speaking from experience, speaking from the heart, being you. It's hard to do without repetition. It does take repetition. On the storytelling side, I've worked with a public speaking coach in the past. She's helped me with how to tell stories, how to weave them into conversation, as well as how to deliver the message I'm giving to have more of an impact with the story. But with those actual stories, I think that they pair best when you can start with speaking to that ideal client, tugging on emotions, going into a more, not a broad concept, but for lack of a better way to put it, a broader theme maybe, and then weaving the story in so you have personal experience that shows you know what you're talking about, and then ending with something powerful that the audience could take away. That's so critical because us as advisors, we know that we know a lot. We know we're professionals. We have these licenses. Maybe you have fancy letters behind your name. But the fact of the matter is your clients that are reading or listening to your content, they do not believe that you are who you say you are without a personal account of what you're talking about. That's the differentiator between a blog that you could go read on CNBC and an advisor like me putting out content.
Stories are what make us memorable. Stories are what people remember about you a month or a year after they hear them. And I think that's what makes stories work so well when it comes to video. Give a shout out to your storytelling coach, because I'm sure there's a lot of advisors out there in the same situation who are saying, yeah, I really could use that.
Yeah, her name is Nasheen Chen. You can find her on LinkedIn. That's what I met her on LinkedIn. She's incredible. She puts out amazing content as well, just on a daily basis that's free, that you could probably learn a lot from.
Last question for you. What's the time input here, Mando? How much time each week are you spending on the platform?
I think it comes down to what you want to prioritize with LinkedIn. Now, in the beginning, Laura, I was coming from my prospecting blocks would be 4 hours per day. I had a early stage practice at the time. Even now, I'm just going to be coming up on 5 years in the industry, so I'm still in rapid growth mode. But you go back 2.5 years ago, I had nothing but time on my hands. So I'd spend a couple hours a week on content. I'd spend a couple hours every day engaging on the platform. But if you're an advisor that's done nothing and you need to put time into the platform moving forward, this is what I would consider the minimum amount of time you need to actually see results long term. And when you start, you need to expect 6 to 12 months it's going to take to really start seeing anything worthwhile. That's just the reality of the situation. No one's going to see you pop up once and say, here's all my money. Anyway, if you can post 3 times a week, which I think for someone who's brand new, it could take 10 to 20 minutes to make a post. So let's be conservative and say an hour a week to make content. And then on the days that you post, if you can engage on the platform for an hour a day, and when I say engage, go comment on other people's posts, try to make at least 15 to 20 comments a day. That's the minimum work that you're going to use to actually see any results. Now, what I would personally recommend, if you could do 5 days a week posting, so all weekdays, let's say it takes you an hour 15 to make all that content. Then on those weekdays, if you could block an hour to 2 hours into your calendar to go comment on other people's posts, that would be the ideal regimen for an advisor in my eyes.
That's a major mistake so many advisors make. They think if I just produce this content and push it out the door, it's going to work for me. And I love the 80-20 rule that 20% should be what you're pushing out and 80% should be you interacting with other people's content and really growing your footprint, because it doesn't happen magically. You have to put in the work. And Mondo's here because he has put in the work. He's got 27,000 followers on LinkedIn. He has a business case to prove that the hours he puts in each week are worth it. Remember, if Mando can do it, you can do it too. If you need help building your authority and growing your practice with video, Idea Decanter is there for you. Oh, one more thing. If you're not already part of Idea Decanter's Real Finfluencer community, now is your chance to join us. Head to ideadecanter.com/join, and you'll be in. You'll get early access to advisor video tips, invites to exclusive events, and behind-the-scenes insights that you won't find on Google or even on ChatGPT. Whether you're just video curious or already knee-deep in content creation, this is the place to grow your influence with video. Don't miss out. And thanks so much for listening to The Real Finfluencers.